All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we update you on everything that happened here on a Saturday, the day before Week 1 in the NFL gets rolling for the Niners at Lumen Field in Seattle, where 53% of the fans are supposed to be rooting for the 49ers in Week 1. Of course, check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week. Get the brisket chili. Tell them Krug sent you. We're also, this 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions apply. All right. News on a Saturday surrounding the 49ers, and there's multiple stories out. First of all, Ian Rappaport reported earlier that signs are pointing towards Christian McCaffrey playing against the Seahawks, barring a setback, and in pregame, it's likely he's a go. Now, Shanahan told us on Friday that he was 50-50 questionable, which is a 50% chance to play, 50% chance he won't. So it sounds, then we talked to Christian at his locker no more than 20 minutes later, and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to be there and I'm playing. So sounds like he's playing. Obviously the calf, I don't know if it's Achilles. God, I hope it isn't Achilles, but let's just say the calf injury is not feeling, or his calf is not feeling 100%. Hopefully it's not a precursor to any kind of of an Achilles situation. I think it has to be mentioned that for those who are not aware, that Christian McCaffrey had bilateral tendonitis in both Achilles last year, and only really got over it not with any kind of surgery, but with rest. He had a procedure done, but he was mostly just rest that that probably caused the whole thing to quiet down. And now here he is playing football again. I wouldn't say they babied him this summer, but they've been smart about it. They haven't used him. They've used him judiciously, let's just say. And it sounds like they're going to have to kind of baby him through this season, which is what I would expect, which is why I keep talking about, trade for a Breece Hall, go sign a Damian Martinez, go get another big time runner in here, just in case the Christian thing gets worse and worse and worse. Brian Robinson is going to be fantastic. There's no question in my mind. But what do you have behind him now that, Corey Kiner got hurt and is no longer with the team? You've got Jordan James, who hasn't played in weeks because of a finger injury. This is going to be really interesting. Now, I would imagine the game plan for the Niners offensively is to run the heck out of the football in the first part of the season. A lot of 22 personnel, a lot of two backs, and run the ball and protect your young defense in September from, 3 or 4 extra series a game. If the Niners play ball control and they can dominate the time of possession, they can turn this into a 7 or an 8 possession game for their defense. I'll take that, and I'm sure Robert Saleh would take that over what we sometimes see, which is 12, 13, 14 series in a game, depending on the pace and how long the series goes. So complementary football is going to be the name of the game for the Niners in September, and they can't play complementary football nearly as well without this guy, without Christian McCaffrey. So according to Ian Rappaport, all signs are that Christian's going to play against the Seahawks, and barring a setback, he's likely a full go. Or I say a full go, a go. So there you go. There's story number 1. Story number 2, this is a story for everybody around the league. Every Saturday, if you're playing on Sunday, you can elevate 2 members of your practice squad off the practice squad onto the active roster. You can only elevate each player 3 times off the practice squad. So you have to kind of pick and choose who you want each week and who's going to be most advantageous. The 49ers announced today that they are elevating Curtis Robinson, the special team linebacker, who's one of their best special teamers, and wide receiver Russell Gage have been activated for the practice squad, and they will both play in this game. So Robinson and Gage get the practice squad elevation. The Niners were doing a little tap dance back and forth between MVS and Gage, and I think it has to do with, obviously, dollars. I think probably MVS was probably promised a certain amount of dollars, so he's on the active roster. Gage is on the practice squad. Gage then gets the elevation this week, but he, as I said, he can only be elevated 3 times. The difference in pay is dramatic. The practice squad guys make around 215,000 last I checked, where I believe the league minimum in the NFL is between 750 and 800,000. It might even be more than that at this point, but it's a sizable difference. So we're talking about the difference in $500,000 financially for being on the active roster as opposed to being on the practice squad. So there you go. The 2 stories of this Saturday: the Niners are elevating Curtis Robinson and Russell Gage from the practice squad for this game with the Seahawks. Now, what are those guys likely to do? Robinson is a terrific special teamer, and he gives the 49ers another big-time guy on their coverage unit. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, against Seattle, we saw Seattle have a 97-yard kick return against the 49ers a year ago with Laviska Shenault. So Seattle usually gets the upper hand, it seems like, on special teams. The Niners are absolutely hell-bent on not being the worst special teams unit. So many of their things that they've done this offseason in free agency, as far as practice goes, how the roster was pared down, so much of it with an eye on free agency, or on special teams, I should say. And Curtis Robinson is a very good special teamer. So that's the role he's going to man. And then, as far as Gage goes, Shanahan has made it clear, and Lynch has as well, hey, we don't know which 5 we're going to have on the field, but we're going to have 5 receivers up on game day. And those 5 receivers are likely to be Sky Moore, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Russell Gage. Now, in future weeks, that 5th guy may not be Russell Gage. It may be Jordan Watkins. And if Watkins is as good as I think he's going to be, Gage's playing time on the roster is going to have to come from somebody else. Somebody else is going to have to, be sitting for him, because, Watkins is 4.37 speed. Either Watkins or Cowing, I think, are essential for the 49ers. Now, you do have Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who also runs in the 4.3s. He can be a little bit of your go pattern guy. Sky Moore's not slow. Heck, Ricky Pearsall runs in the 4.4s. But the real, field stretchers are Jacob Cowing and Jordan Watkins. And right now, they open the year hurt. Which is why you have the need for these extra receivers. And Russell Gage has had a good summer. He's had a really good summer. So I think where it hurts, where the 49ers are hurt by the Gage thing, is they lack a little bit of explosive speed that they would have from a Watkins or a Cowing. Where they gain is in the red zone. And let's be honest, the 49ers have been a bad team in the red zone, offensively and defensively. So if Russell Gage can run, good routes, crisp routes, pluck the ball with his hands, and score touchdowns in the red zone, something tells me he's going to be up most weeks, because that's a really valuable role. Jennings is a money receiver. I expect Pearsall to step up, and to me, he's the real key guy to watch in this game offensively. It's Ricky Pearsall's time. He had 2 really good games at the end of the year. He's hell-bent to show everybody that those 2 games are really who he is. So it starts right here. The Niners have a huge need, and Ricky's there to potentially fill it. As a former number 1 draft choice, I would expect he's going to be quite a bit better than he was a year ago. And the other guy that I think is going to be a key guy in this game is Upton Stout. Upton Stout is a rookie. He's going to start. I would imagine the Niners are going to start 2 rookies, Upton Stout and Mikael Williams. Maybe a 3rd rookie in Marquise Siegel, but most likely not. I would say it's Mikael Williams and Upton Stout draw the start. Stout is going to be asked to do a ton. Seattle's running it for over 5 yards a carry. He's going to have to be a stout run defender, no pun intended. And as far as the pass game, good luck. There's Cooper Kupp. And when it's not Cooper Kupp, it's Jackson Smith-Njigba. They're both absolutely deadly out of the slot, and you're the slot corner. So if we're talking about Upton Stout in the postgame in a positive manner, the 49ers are going to be winners, because Upton Stout's got a huge assignment in week 1. Stop Cooper Kupp, and when he's taking a break, JSN. And by the way, stop K9 and Charbonnet running the ball because you're going to be in the box trying to defend the run. So here we go. It's a big day for Pearsall. It's a big day for Upton Stout. So very interesting week 1, and that's going to do it for your 49er update.